Have you ever had that feeling? That quiet, persistent sense that there's more to reality than what we see? A feeling that your thoughts, your focus, or even just your presence in a room can somehow influence the outcome of your day? What if that strange feeling you get, that coincidences sometimes feel a little too perfect, isn't just your imagination? What if it's you, sensing the fundamental nature of reality itself? Think about this. You're sitting in a coffee shop, and an old friend you haven't spoken to in years randomly pops into your head. You remember a specific moment. You can almost hear their laugh. You think to yourself, I should text them, but before you can even unlock your phone, it buzzes, and it's them. We call it a coincidence, a fluke, a happy accident. We laugh about it, tell the story to others, and then move on. But what if I told you that these moments aren't random glitches in the system? What if they're actually features, not bugs? Glimpses into an underlying law of the universe, a law as real as gravity itself. These experiences aren't happening to you. They are happening through you. They are evidence that your consciousness isn't just a passenger along for the ride. It is an active participant in the creation of your life, moment by moment. In this video, we're going to decode that law. We'll bridge the gap between ancient wisdom and modern science to give you a practical, powerful framework to move from being a passive observer of your life to its conscious architect. So let's begin by exploring the place where these two worlds finally meet. For centuries, mystics have spoken of consciousness as the creator. Now, for the first time, science is catching up, and what it's finding is astonishing. To truly understand your power, we need to talk about the most famous and perhaps the strangest experiment in all of science, the double-slit experiment. Simply put, scientists discovered that the most fundamental particles of matter, like electrons, behave as spreading waves of potential when no one is watching. But the moment they place a device to measure, to observe them, those waves instantly collapse into a single particle in a specific location. Let that sink in. The act of observation turned infinite potential into a definite reality. Now, in mainstream science, the observer is simply any measuring device. The measurement itself is what forces the quantum world to choose a state. But this is where things get incredibly interesting. The greatest minds in physics, like John Wheeler, took it a step further. He theorized a participatory universe and asked a question that shakes the very foundation of science. Could human consciousness, with its focused attention, be the ultimate observer? Does the universe need us to observe it, to make it real? This is no longer science fiction. Pioneers today are connecting these dots. Researchers like Greg Braden have spent their lives demonstrating how humanity's most ancient texts accurately describe the quantum principles we are just now rediscovering. Neuroscientists like Dr. Joe Dispenza are conducting experiments that show how meditation and mental focus can physically change the brain and body, proving that the mind truly has power over matter. What physicists today call the quantum field, an intelligent, interconnected field of energy that contains all possibilities. Ancient sages called by other names. The Hindus called it Akasha, the record of every thought and event. Others called it the mind of God. Two languages, one truth. So what's the lesson here? It's that science and spirituality are no longer enemies. They are holding hands, pointing toward the same staggering conclusion. Your consciousness is not just a byproduct of chemical reactions in your brain. It is a fundamental force with the ability to interact with and shape the very field of energy that creates everything. And the biggest secret isn't just that you observe. It's the quality of your observation that matters. This is the game changer. This is the difference between those who struggle with the law of attraction for years and those who create astonishing changes in a short amount of time. The observer effect isn't simply about looking at something. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being energetically. Think of it like this. Your thoughts are the electrical signal you send out to the quantum field. They carry the information, your intention. But your emotions are the magnetic signal. They are the energy, the force that draws reality to you. When you combine a clear intention, a coherent thought from the brain, with an elevated, intense emotion from the heart, you are creating a unique electromagnetic signature. That is who you are being in that moment. And this isn't just theory. Organizations like the HeartMath Institute have studied this for decades. They call it heart-brain coherence. They've proven that when you experience elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, or appreciation, your heart's rhythm becomes highly coherent and orderly. This rhythm then synchronizes with your brain. In that state, you are broadcasting a powerful and clear energy signal into your environment. Conversely, when you feel stress, fear, or lack, your signal becomes chaotic and incoherent. The universe doesn't know what to respond to. This is why positive thinking alone is not enough. You cannot fool the quantum field. Trying to think positively while feeling anxious, needy, or angry is like shouting a new address to your GPS while still driving full speed toward your old home. Your body, your feelings, are the car, and they will always win. So, what's the real key? Your job isn't to think about the future you want. Your job is to teach your body emotionally what that future feels like now. The quantum field doesn't know the difference between an experience that creates an emotion and an emotion that creates an experience. When you can feel the sense of abundance before the wealth arrives, when you can feel the sense of wholeness before the love comes, when you can feel gratitude for your health before you are healed, you have become a master creator. You are no longer chasing reality. You are commanding reality to come to you. But how can we feel wealthy when the bank account is empty? How can we feel loved when we're lonely? This is the biggest trap, the number one mistake that most of us make. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The one that stops most people from truly applying this power. It's called the scarcity trap, or as I like to call it, the reality mirror. And it works like this. You wake up and use your senses, your eyes, your ears, to observe your current reality. You look at your bank account and see a small number. You look at your calendar and see you have no dates scheduled. You listen to the news and feel the world is a scary place. Your brain, which is a record of the past, processes all this data and generates a corresponding emotion: anxiety, loneliness, fear, lack. As we learned, this emotion creates an electromagnetic signature. It's the signal you're broadcasting, and the quantum field, with perfect objectivity, receives your signal of lack and sends you more circumstances that perfectly match that signal. An unexpected bill arrives. A date gets canceled. More bad news. And so the loop continues. The outer reality creates the inner feeling, and the inner feeling creates the outer reality. The number one mistake we make is believing that we need a reason from the outside world to feel good on the inside. We say, when I have the money, I'll feel abundant. When I meet the one, I'll feel loved. You're putting the cart before the horse. You're asking reality to change first, before you'll change your signal. But the law doesn't work that way, and this, my friends, is where ordinary people become extraordinary creators. The greatest act of creation isn't building a skyscraper or painting a masterpiece. It is generating a feeling from your own will, without any evidence from your reality. It's feeling abundant when the bills are piling up. It's feeling loved and whole when you're alone. It's feeling gratitude for your body while it's in the process of healing. This isn't pretending. This is a deliberate act of creative power. You have to make a decision that your inner world, your thoughts and feelings, matters more than the outer world. That your vision of the future has to be more real than your current reality. You have to stop allowing your current reality to dictate your emotional state, and start using your emotional state to dictate your future reality. You cannot create a new future while living in the emotions of your past and present. It violates quantum law. So how do we actually do this in a practical way? How do we tune our quantum radio to a new station, even when the old one is still blaring all around us? That's exactly what we're going to explore next. So how do we actually do this? Imagine that every potential reality, wealth, perfect health, deep love, is broadcasting 24/7 on its own frequency, just like a radio station. Most of us have been tuned to the same station our whole lives. Scarcity, FM, or worry radio. Because it's what we're used to, it's what our environment is broadcasting. Your emotion is the frequency dial. You don't have to build a new radio station. The other stations are already there. You just need to learn how to tune in. And here's how you do it. This exercise is called Feeling the Future Now. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for 10 minutes. Sit down, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Breathing in peace and breathing out all the tension. First, choose one potential, one outcome you want to experience with total clarity. Don't just say, "I want more money." Be specific. For example, "I am completely financially free." Now build a short scene in your mind, a moment that represents you having achieved that. Don't just see the number in the bank account. See yourself logging into the banking app and smiling. Where are you? Maybe in the sun-filled living room of your new home. What are you wearing? Comfortable clothes that make you feel relaxed. What do you hear? Birds chirping outside, soft music, or the laugh of a loved one. Who is with you? Maybe they're congratulating you. And here is the most important step. Ask yourself, how is this future version of me feeling? They aren't feeling hopeful for financial freedom. They are financial freedom. What is that feeling? Relief, peace, joy, freedom, gratitude? Pick one of those emotions and begin to generate it in your body right now. Let that feeling expand throughout your chest, down into your stomach, and out to your fingertips. Live in that feeling for a few minutes. This isn't a new technique. One of the great mystics of the 20th century, Neville Goddard, built his entire teaching on one simple principle he called, "Feeling is the secret." When you do this consistently, you are changing your body's biochemistry. You are teaching your body what that future feels like before it happens. You are sending out a clear and coherent electromagnetic signal. You are becoming energetically matched to that reality. But what happens when you open your eyes and the bills are still there? What happens when the unseen enemy, your old subconscious programs, starts to speak up? This is the real battle, and that's where we're going next. You just finished the exercise. You feel amazing, energized, clear, and then you open your eyes. The old reality is still there. The bills are still on the table. The room is still empty. And a little voice in your head starts to whisper, "This is silly. You're just fooling yourself. Nothing has changed. Welcome to the fight against your greatest enemy on this journey." This enemy isn't external. It's right here in your subconscious mind. Neuroscientists estimate that 95% of who you are, your thoughts, actions, and emotional reactions, is run by a set of recorded programs, mostly installed from ages 0 to 7. Your conscious mind, the 5% that's watching this video, is the captain, but your subconscious mind is a massive crew of 1,000 people who have been used to steering the ship on the same old route for the last 20, 30, 40 years. Your conscious mind may want to go to Abundance Island, but if your subconscious has been programmed to head for Scarcity Harbor, a struggle will occur. You can't win it with willpower alone. You have to reprogram the crew, and that takes repetition and persistence. The second challenge is the time lag. Why doesn't it happen instantly? Think of physical reality like a giant ocean liner. When the captain, your conscious mind, decides to turn the wheel, the ship doesn't turn on a dime. It has inertia. It takes time to slow down, stop, and then, slowly, begin to change course. Your job is to hold the wheel steady, hold the new feeling, long enough for the ship to start turning. Most people give up seconds before the ship begins to move. And finally, the hardest and most misunderstood challenge. Just as you start holding your new frequency, the universe will seem to test you. You're focusing on abundance, and then you get an emergency car repair bill. You're focusing on peace, and a family member starts an argument with you. This is not a sign that you're doing it wrong. This is a sign that you are doing it right. Think of this as a purge. All the old energy, the limiting beliefs, the suppressed emotions that are incompatible with the new, you must come to the surface to be cleared and released. It's like cleaning a messy room. It always looks worse before it gets better. So, when these challenges appear, don't get discouraged. Smile and say, I know what this is. This is proof that I'm changing. This is the purge. But theory is one thing. Seeing someone who has actually walked through this battle and won is another. In the next section, I'm going to tell you a true story of how someone overcame their subconscious, the time lag, and the purge to create a quantum leap in their life. Theory can light the way, but it's the story that ignites the fire. Allow me to tell you about Sarah. Sarah was an accountant. She was good at her job, but after 10 years of staring at spreadsheets, she felt stuck and soulless. The light inside her seemed to have gone out. Her secret dream was to open a small bakery, but her unseen enemy was loud. The voice in her head constantly repeated, "You don't have the money. You don't have the business experience. It's insane to leave a secure job at 35. For years, she tried to think positive, but the feelings of lack and fear always won. Then she decided to try a different approach. Instead of trying to change her thoughts, she focused on changing her energy. Every morning before work, Sarah took 15 minutes. She didn't just visualize the bakery. She smelled the fresh-baked bread and rich coffee. She heard the little bell on the door jingle as customers walked in. She felt the texture of the apron tied around her waist. And most importantly, she summoned the feeling that the bakery would bring her. Deep joy, a sense of pride and peace in her chest. She lived in that emotion. Of course, as soon as she finished the exercise, the unseen enemy would speak up. "What are you doing, Sarah? Be realistic. You're an accountant." But this time, instead of believing that voice, she would simply acknowledge it. "Thanks for sharing," she would tell herself, "but I'm choosing a different feeling right now." And she would return to that feeling of joy even for just 30 seconds. After 2 weeks of doing this consistently, a little impulse appeared. Sign up for an advanced baking class on the weekend. It wasn't a complex business plan. It was just a small, joyful, inspired action. At that class, she was partnered with an older woman named Carol. As they worked together, Carol mentioned that she had been running a small bakery in the city for 40 years and was looking to retire. She didn't want to sell it to a large corporation. She wanted to pass it on to someone with real passion. Sarah's heart started racing. Over the next 6 months, Carol became Sarah's mentor. Sarah used her savings, along with a flexible payment plan Carol offered, to take over the bakery. This wasn't magic that fell from the sky. This was a synchronistic event orchestrated by her energy. You see, Sarah's quantum leap didn't happen overnight. It was the result of holding a new energy frequency every single day, facing the old programming without surrendering, and acting on small, logical, inspired impulses. Sarah's story is living proof that you don't need to have all the answers before you begin. You just need to start changing your energy, and the universe will rearrange itself around you to bring you the right people and circumstances. Now you have the theory and an inspiring story. It's time to equip you with a precise, step-by-step protocol so you can begin your own journey. Now it's time to turn knowledge into action, to turn inspiration into results. I'm going to share with you a simple but incredibly powerful process you can start using today. I call it the 4-step quantum alignment protocol. Do it every morning for 15-20 minutes. Step 1. Clear. 3 minutes. Before you can broadcast a new signal, you have to quiet the static of the old one. The goal of this step is to move you out of the hurried survival state and into the calm, creative state. The easiest way is with box breathing. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and hold for a count of 4. Repeat this for 2 to 3 minutes. This will calm your nervous system, balance your brain waves, and create the heart-brain coherence we talked about in Part 3. Step 2. Calibrate. 10 minutes. Now that you're in a calm, receptive state, it's time to calibrate your energy to the future you want. This is the Feeling the Future Now exercise we practiced. Choose a potential you want to realize, build a scene in your mind, and most importantly, summon and live in the emotion of that outcome. Don't just visualize it. Live in it. Feel it in every cell of your body. The longer you can stay in that emotional state, the more powerful a signal you send to the quantum field. Step 3. Listen and act. All day. Creation is not a passive process. After your morning practice, this step takes place throughout your day. Pay attention to subtle nudges, sudden ideas, and synchronicities. The universe will start to communicate with you. It might be a sudden urge to call an old friend, to pop into a bookstore you've never been to, or to sign up for a course, just like Sarah signed up for the baking class. The rule is, if it feels light, expansive, and exciting, do it. If it feels heavy and forced, wait. That's the difference between inspired action and desperate action. Step 4. Let go. The most important. This is the final and perhaps the most difficult step for many. It is the art of letting go. After you have clearly given your order to the universe with your thoughts and feelings, you have to trust that it heard you. Constantly checking, worrying, and trying to figure out how creates an energy of resistance. It's like telling the universe you don't really believe it will happen. It's like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You plant it, you water it with your emotion, and you trust the process. Clear. Calibrate. Listen and act and let go. Commit to doing this every day. This is the workout for a creator. When you start to master this process, something magical happens. The change doesn't just stop with you. it begins to ripple out into the world in ways you can't even imagine. You might think this work is just about you, to improve your life, to achieve your goals. And on one level, that's true. But that's just the beginning. Think of human consciousness as a giant ocean. Each of us is a single drop of water, but we are not separate. We are part of the entire ocean. When you change your own energy frequency, you are changing the frequency of the whole ocean, even if just a little. Biologist Rupert Sheldrake proposed a fascinating theory called morphic fields. Basically, he suggests there's a kind of collective memory in nature. When one member of a species learns a new behavior, it becomes slightly easier for all other members of that species to learn it, even with no physical contact. Now, apply this to human consciousness. For thousands of years, we have lived in a collective energy field of fear, scarcity, and separation. Every time you practice this protocol and choose a feeling of abundance over lack, you're not just changing your personal reality. You are sending a ripple through that collective field. Every time you overcome a limiting belief, like "I'm not good enough" or "money is hard to come by," you aren't just freeing yourself. You are weakening the power of that belief in the consciousness of all of humanity. You are creating a new energetic blueprint for confidence and success, making it easier for others to access that state, even if they've never seen this video. This is why you becoming wealthy, healthy, and happy is not a selfish act. It is an act of service. The world doesn't need another person playing small and suffering. The world needs you to be a living testament to what is possible. Your success, your inner peace, your joy, they are permission for others to achieve the same. Your change is an inspiration for their change. So, the work you are doing in the quiet of your morning has a grander purpose than you might think. You are a pioneer, a pattern breaker. You are helping to light a new path for humanity. So, what are you going to do with all of this? You're standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to the old life, where you are a passive observer, reacting to a seemingly random reality. The other path, the one less traveled, leads to your true role as a conscious creator. The journey you've just been on for the last 30 minutes isn't just about learning a new technique. It's about remembering who you truly are, not a victim of circumstance, but the architect of your reality. The greatest power in the universe isn't out there among the stars. It is inside you, waiting to be recognized and commanded. Knowledge without action is just philosophy. Action creates worlds. Therefore, I invite you to a challenge, the 21-Day Conscious Creator Challenge. Commit to practicing the 4-step protocol every day for 21 days. 21 days is the time it takes to begin forming a new neural habit, to begin reprogramming your subconscious crew, to officially begin this journey, to declare your intention to the universe and to yourself. Do one thing right. Now, go to the comments section and write these exact words. I am a conscious creator. This isn't just a comment. It's an energetic declaration. It's your signature on a new contract with reality. It's an affirmation that you are ready to claim your power. If you're ready to continue this journey with a community of pioneers, hit the subscribe button. This channel isn't just videos. It's a movement. And hit the notification bell, because each video will build upon the last, going deeper into the laws of the universe. And you won't want to miss our next video. We will be exploring one of the most mysterious and powerful phenomena in quantum physics, quantum entanglement. I will reveal how you can use this principle to create instant connections with a person, an opportunity, or a desired outcome, regardless of distance in space. and time. Your journey begins now. Welcome to the life of your own design. Welcome to the real you,